to uh, this is Qismul Ibadat. Qismul Ibadat. Okay, so act of worship. Definition of act of worship. So it's comprised of how many chapters? So 6, if you ask. So can you mention them without looking? Then you need to uh, master all this. So you see chapter 1, purity. Chapter 2, prayer, that is Salat, Zakat. 3, fasting. 4, 5 is pilgrimage. Then jihad. Okay, we've done it. So now let's talk about the first chapter, purity. Okay, chapter 1, purity. So that one is consist of how many topics? You need to know. You want to discuss 9 topics. So can you mention the 9 topics without book, without looking? So water, okay, vessels and bowels, impurity, cleaning oneself, and etiquette related to relieving oneself. The act in accord with human nature. Ablution, that is wudu, ghusl, tayammum, wiping over shoes and splints. So what is splint? Can you remind me? So if you ask, this chapter is consist of how many? In exam, you say 9 topics. How many topics? You say 9 topics. Then you mention all of them. Then you get good mark. Splint, what does it mean? So go and find out. You will be asked. So splint is bandage. Okay, before we go to purity, so we need to do introduction, which you have done. Lexically, so what does the word Tahaarat mean? Lexically. So that is linguistic speaking. So technical term, what does it mean? You need to know that. It means all this one without book, okay? We have talked about different types as well. So in Islamic law, that is in Sharia. So in Sharia, so in Sharia, so Tahara, how many uh, types? So we've done a spiritual and physical sense to it. So you ask what is the physical sense. So you have the one that is related to human body. What is spiritual? So is the purifying of the heart from the filth of sins. So on top of all these things is shirk, when you believe that something else is God, is Almighty Allah. Okay, shirk. Okay, the physical sense. Okay, what is it again? So this is the answer. Is the one related. So is the one related to the knowledge of fiqh, science of fiqh, that is required for prayer. It's actually saying what you do externally to your body. So external purification is 2 types, varieties. So say you are in the state of purity, then you do acts, then you nullify that state of purity. To do purification is one division of external or physical purity. Okay, something that is impurity itself. So impure substances. So to know this substance is impure. Okay, You have to know that through Sharia. Okay, now let's talk about if being in the state of purity is nullified because you do an act, like if you we. Okay, just example. So that one is subdivided into three categories. The external act that nullify the state of purity. Sometimes you need to do, sometimes they are major. You need to do ghusl. Sometimes they are minor. You just need to do wudu. Sometimes you do tayammum, okay, which is the substitute for either ghusl or wudu. So that is when they cannot be performed. You cannot perform ghusl. You cannot perform wudu for the major one. I'm sorry, minor one. So you do tayammum. Okay. Okay. If something is impurity, okay, you want to clean it. Okay. It's three types. Cleaning sometimes require washing it. See, we is in your body sometimes. You have to wash it. Some of them you just have to wipe it. That is the second division types type. The third one is moistening or sprinkling. So once you have some of them you do washing, that's when it can be pure. Some of them you just wipe, then it can be pure. Some of them if you just sprinkle the water, so it's considered to be clean. So the next topic now is topic 1. Okay. So we want to talk about water. So what we did before is introduction to purity, Tahaarat. So water can be divided into how many categories? 3. You'll be asked. Water that is purifying. Okay. You can use it to clean impurity or to get yourself back to the state of purity if it is nullified by acts or any acts that nullify it. So this is the evidence from Quran. You need to memorize this ayah. Allah says, وَيُنَزِّلُ عَلَيْكُم مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً لِيُطَهِّرَكُم بِهِ. So which means you need to memorize the meaning as well. It caused rain to descend on you from heaven to purify yourselves therein. It's good, even good if you know it's found in Surah Al-Anfal, Ayah 11. The second category, water that is pure, okay, but not purifying. It is pure. You will not say this water is, it can't be used. It's dirty or is impure. No, no, it is pure, but you cannot use it to do cleaning for Sharia. Okay, you cannot use it to make wudu. You cannot use it to make ghusl. Okay, that's what it means. But it doesn't mean that the water is not pure. How do you know that? If something that is pure has changed that water's characteristics, it has changed its color, its taste, and its smell. That's what it's meant. Okay, read it to understand more. The third category is impure water. Okay, so color has changed, smell has changed, taste has changed. But what changed it? So what changed it is impure. Okay, maybe we fell into it. Okay, these points you just need to master them. Impure water is purified by it changing its characteristic naturally. Water that is not pure, you put it in the sun, then after some time naturally it become clean. Or by adding enough water, which is pure, okay, to it, that the alteration is removed. It can happen that a Muslim if a Muslim is in doubt about whether some water is pure or not pure, is in doubt, okay? So he acts on the basis of what was known for certainty. What was known is that the water was pure or wasn't pure. So you act on based on that. The general ruling for anything is that of purity. Okay, is that of purity. In other words, something is considered pure unless there is clear evidence demonstrating that it has been made impure. So if one cannot differentiate liquid that is pure from which is not, what do? One leaves them both and perform tayammum instead, okay? Another point, if a person is confused about garments, okay, not knowing which is impure or forbidden from that which is pure, okay, is confused. So that's what he does. He bases his act on on what he knows for certain, and prays one prayer only in that garment. In other words, to explain it in another way, he uses the garment he believes to be pure and prays once. He does not have to pray, change his clothing, and then pray another prayer just to make sure that he prayed in garment that was not impure forbidden. What it means that you don't use all clothes to pray. Okay? If 5 clothes you are not sure, and you pray with this cloth, you change it, another one. You pray with 5 of them because you want to be sure that you used one that is clean. You don't have to do that. What you need to do is what he says that he uses the garment he believes to be pure and pray once. So all this one will come in exam. Get ready for that. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.